Toyota's new president, Koji Sato, has his work cut out for him. His vision is to take the world's largest automaker, Toyota, from 20,000 battery electric vehicles in 2022 to over 3.5 million BEVs by 2030. Luckily for us, the details on how he will achieve this miracle are starting to surface. We got a lot of news today. A lot of it is around Koji Sato. He's been kind of an open book with Toyota and their electrification radicalization and reformation, I guess you could say. So we got two big articles to talk about Koji Sato, but Toyota does not have any plans to be fully battery electric globally, and we have news to confirm their ethanol-based hybrids in Brazil. And we'll talk about Panasonic looking for battery plants today because Panasonic is the #1 supplier for Toyota, Tesla, and maybe others. And then at the end, we'll pour one out for our homie, the FJ Cruiser. Hopefully you guys have your snacks and drinks today. We're going to break down this article from Automotive News, specifically Hans Greimel over there in Japan. Koji Sato has just outlined a 3-step plan for achieving this miracle of 3.5 million EVs by 2030. And this 3-step strategy will significantly enhance productivity and profitability by 2030 through Toyota's coming line of electric vehicles. Toyota has good profit margins, we'll talk about here in a little bit, but they can't touch the profit margins of Tesla or even BYD. And in step 3, timing and productivity will be significantly enhanced. So we're currently in what's called phase 1. This is their ETNGA platform. This is essentially just a modification of their K platform electric vehicles. And this will last until the second phase around 2026. That's when the new platform comes about, which is going to benefit them massively. And the third phase kicks in when Toyota leverages new vehicles and software systems to unlock new revenue streams, business models, and hyper-efficient product development cycles. That third phase around 2030 is what I'm going to say. The ball will be moving full steam ahead. And this, in theory, could be the golden era just beginning for Toyota once again in the age of electrification around 2030. This new platform and their new philosophy in step 2 and step 3 will allow them to double their range. Let's say they're getting 240 miles of range right now. In theory, we could be getting 400 to 500 miles of range, which would be great. They'll do this with more efficient battery use. I wouldn't be surprised if solid-state batteries are part of that. And this will require half the investment and development resources than we currently have today. And here's the good news. Even though EVs are expensive right now, at least on average, the improved productivity will allow Toyota to lower prices and help drive volume. So think of EVs priced like a Corolla coming by the end of this decade or the beginning of next decade. So around $20,000 in theory, we'll have affordable electric Toyotas, which needs to happen because I won't be surprised if Tesla and, well, of course, BYD and many other automakers out there will have EVs selling well under $30,000, $25,000 even. So let's start with step 1. Step 1 has been a slow rollout. They're hardly producing any EVs right now, around 20,000 globally for 2022. The BZ4X had a rough start. The wheels were falling off. They recalled it. That affected the sister vehicle, the Subaru Solterra. That also delayed the launch of the Lexus RZ. And even though the RZ and the BZ4X in my testing drive and feel amazing and feel some of the best built EVs out there, the problem is that when it comes to EVs, build quality isn't that important, or as important, I should say, with gas cars. It seems to be right now you need to have fast charging and you need to have good range for a battery electric vehicle. Toyota doesn't really have the most competitive stats in those areas right now. But as we read further, those limitations will absolutely change. And step 1 is going to continue until 2026. And I think we'll see quite a few vehicles still based on the ETNGA platform to come. And a lot of those have been canceled. Keep in mind, when Koji Sato took office, he's like, okay, well, the step 2 prolonging ETNGA, that's canceled, and we need to move full blast, full forward on software-defined vehicles on this new battery electric platform, and their costs will plummet at that point for the development of battery electric vehicles with their new platform, but they're going to have to work faster and harder than they ever have before to get there starting in 2026 with that new platform. Let's get into step 2 here, because step 2 is the key into transforming the company. This is about the Arene Automotive Operating System, and it's being developed by Woven. Woven used to be kind of like a supplier company by Toyota, if you want to think of it that way. But when Koji Sato was taking the reins, he absorbed Woven, and Woven is more of like an in-house developer of software now for Toyota. And prior to the absorption of Woven by Toyota, Woven was tasked with creating the operating system, a new operating system for Toyota products, starting with the new RAV4. But since the RAV4 is not a battery electric vehicle on the new platform, for example, and it would have brought some great features to the upcoming RAV4, like better updatability. And I don't even know if it would have been over the air. It sounded like from my source, you would still have to take your RAV4 to the dealer for updates, and it wouldn't have been for the whole vehicle. Certain things in there could be updated and certain things could not be updated, for example. They say Arene operating system is a simplified interface allowing all the car's components to talk to each other. That's what Tesla vehicles do right now, by the way, from my understanding anyways, and it will allow for quick and easy software updates to add value to the experience. And in step 3, when things are working at full steam ahead for Toyota with their new platform, new software, then they can start putting icing on the cake with software services. It's not just Toyota, everyone's doing that. Look, Tesla has this icing on the cake right now with full self-driving and autopilot. So Toyota and all these companies in the future with these new software-defined vehicles and next generation autonomous driving software can absolutely command monthly subscription services for these autonomous driving features. If you want to look at profit margins real quick, Tesla's profit margin is at 20% and Toyota's around 10%. Now, Toyota can float this EV investment because of their diversified approach. They are balanced in different regions with a lineup of hybrids, diesels, gasoline vehicles, etc. And it was announced at the last Toyota briefing that hybrids are already more profitable than their gasoline counterparts. And we've already seen the evidence of this with the newest Corolla Hybrid. The Corolla Hybrid, the 2023 refresh, is cheaper than the 2022 model. We're going to move over to Nikkei Asia. They have more information here coming from Koji Sato. A large part of this is talking about emissions, which I don't get that excited over, but Toyota's plans here to reduce the 2019 emissions by 50% by 2035. And Koji Sato does not seem to be worried about the mass ramp up of battery electric vehicles. He says we can implement it for sure, going from about 20,000 to 1.5 million in just a few years. Unfortunately, when he was asked about the US EV production in the Kentucky plant in 2025, he said we are not at the stage of discussing them, but we know it's probably going to be a 3-row crossover from the Toyota and Lexus camps. All right, let's keep moving. Over at Reuters, Toyota to invest over $338 million in new hybrid flex car in Brazil. They can't have battery electric vehicles there, at least for the vast majority of Brazil. The infrastructure and the grid there just will not support that sort of investment from Toyota. But these new hybrids will run on both gasoline and ethanol. These new engines for this compact car will be built at Toyota's Porto Feliz plant and should create about 700 jobs. And this new car will be launched in Brazil in 2024 and sold in 22 Latin American countries. I would love to see a little hybrid running on ethanol. That would be amazing. Let's go on over to Nikkei Asia. Panasonic looking at 3 U.S. states for big EV battery spending. Panasonic is considering Oklahoma and 2 other U.S. states for a major investment as it plans to boost production of electric vehicle batteries in the country. Okay, so what just happened in Oklahoma? Well, Canoo just said that's where their new plant's going to be, so they could provide batteries for Canoo. We already know Panasonic has a battery plant starting in DeSoto, Kansas, should be online around 2025. And with their plants right in the middle of the country, I think that's a good indicator that they want to be right in the middle of all the automakers. Okay, you have a lot of automakers on the east end of the country, between Canada and the south produces between Georgia and Kentucky, Mississippi, and Tennessee. Like, there are just so many manufacturing plants in like the eastern and southeastern part of the country. South of Oklahoma and Texas, there are a lot of manufacturers as well. Tesla comes to mind, but you also have Toyota's pickup truck factory there in San Antonio, but there's also other domestics there in and around the area as well that they can supply batteries to. The reason I'm covering this right now is because Panasonic is the #1 supplier of batteries for Toyota. So I would think that at least some of these batteries would be for them. All right, last but not least, Motor One giving the FJ Cruiser a send-off. It was discontinued here for 2014. You wouldn't think it living here down in South Florida. You would think that they're still building them because I see them on a daily basis down here and they still look amazing. They still catch your eye. Toyota launched the FJ Cruiser Final Edition in the Middle East, signaling the off-roader could be disappearing soon. And after 17 years, the FJ Cruiser is laid to rest. Cars.co in South Africa reached out to Toyota, and Toyota said global discontinuation of the FJ Cruiser product line as of December 2022. That includes all international markets. FJ Cruiser, you are a prize, a cherished item in the Toyota lineup. We will miss you. There is a new Land Cruiser around the corner, and I hope it takes a lot of these features, kind of inspired by the original J40 Land Cruiser with the rounded headlights. I hope we get that with the new Land Cruiser Prado-based vehicle that should be coming to America very soon here. But I'll see you guys down below. It's a long video today. Thank you so much if you stayed this long, and make sure to smash the like button if you made it this far, and for the continued updates on Toyota's redirection as an electrified brand, or should I say a multi-approach brand in a less carbonized world. All right, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day and peace.